That if you keep dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space and the entire crew is revived, it can be told you. 18 months ago, first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Patron. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
No question about it.
I said it, killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grind together, we all came from hunger pain.
The awesome, the wonderful, the amazing, the highly favored. Oh man. All right, okay. Before we do any introductions, this is full spoilers. You should have seen The Boys finale by now. So with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places, TikTok, podcasts, all that jazz. Hit like, subscribe, share, all that. Get ready to talk. You know what I'm saying? Get in them comments, get in the chat. But we ain't by ourselves, y'all. No. Oh no, we are joined. All right, right over here. You know him, you love him. He knows everything about The Boys. I present to you, Nate Baylor. What's up?
Hey, I don't know if I'd say I know everything, but
well, I mean, you read it.
And,
It's pretty. It's way more than I do.
All right, I'll take that.
And then from yesterday, talking about Thor, we got Gift back down below. What's up?
What's really good with you guys? Ready to give some words about The Boys and their season finale. Love it.
So excited. This show is so good. You know what? Since Nate and I have been talking about this for a while, let me know how you feel about this season, and then talk about the season finale. How you feeling about that?
Well, I mean, from a season standpoint, I'll be honest with you. I came into this one a little bit worried that you're starting to get a lot of the same tropes over and over again. And they came out strong and completely killed that. Still did things that they did the same, but they did them better. They did them with more purpose to the story. And I think it enhanced everything that continued on throughout the entire season. There was not a single episode that I actually had any negative feelings on in any significant way. The season finale this past week. Wow. Some things that I predicted, it didn't come true. Some things that I was looking for, they did come into fruition. And a little bit of sadness here and there, but oh man, I really did. This one was a really good conclusion. But I'm also starting to be like, I need The Boys to start to come to its series end soon. It needs to start wrapping itself up.
Okay. We'll touch back on that. I think I see where you're going. Nate, how about yourself?
I mean, I've been enjoying every episode. I thought the finale was great. Yeah, like he pointed out, the writing this season has been really, really good. Better than this show really than it should require. But it's a great service to the characters, and there's been lots of moments, especially in this season after finishing it, that I'm like, yeah, that's really cool that they did that they got that character, from point A to point B without it feeling like very forced or like formulaic. Thought it was really good. I also really liked it wasn't really apparent until the last episode. I mean, it kind of was, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't as much to the front of my mind about how this season's really about like being a parent and like boys' relationship with their fathers and like the cycle of that. And we see that with all of the characters, all of our main plot characters, basically. And yeah, I think that this show is it's very good emotionally. It's funny. It's got good action, and it's just kind of like it's got everything. Like I think this season is the best one they've done so far. I think it's unusual for a lot of these shows to get better as they go on. But yeah, I'm very excited for the next season, and I'm pretty sure they've confirmed that the next season is the last one.
Yeah,
and this did feel kind of like a lead into that for me. But yeah, I think with the pace that they've gone, there is very little filler, if any, in any of the boys. So I feel like we're reaching the zenith point very soon. I think the starting of the next season I think it's going to be batshit from the beginning, and then it's all just kind of like go downhill until it ends.
word.
I agree. And see, Jenna James said Kripke did say he plans to wrap it up by season 4 or 5. And I think you just said that next season is the last one. So
I believe that's what I heard. Maybe not.
I don't think they've made it official, but it's probably coming up on that. But I can
see it definitely being maybe like 1 or 2 more at most. But this season, I am not mad at any. There's not like if we're saying there's not an episode that I could be like, man, I hated that episode, and just wow, they really have season 1 and 2 had good stuff. It's not that the show was, horrible until now, but they definitely had ups and downs for me. And this one, I think they were firing on all cylinders. Like all the actors came to play. The story was on point. I can't think of any actual fat on the storyline where it was like, oh, okay, we were just kind of here, like you were saying, filler. I can't really think of oh, okay, we were just here for nothing or whatever. We still got our crazy The Boys gags. They got those in there. But we also dealt with some serious issues around Huey and around the Butcher, especially when he got kind of trapped in his mind. Because we got to see more of his issues play out with his brother. We got a lot about fatherhood in the last episode. So they were able to balance this whole issue of kind of large corporations, Big Brother, stuff. And then also a lot of personal stories without feeling like it was too much going on. It's weird because there's a lot of characters in this, but it never felt like there was too much going on in the story.
Never felt overrun in any one situation, and which is it really imaginably great way of being able to do storytelling. And it's very ironic because this show, obviously, it's its own thing, but it plays more so as such a parody of what we expect from the superhero genre, almost point for point in so many ways. It's very easy to get succumbed into trying to create the parody. We talked about that a little bit with yesterday with the last movie. And I give them a lot of credit because this is the way that parodying used to really get done in the past. When we got movies like Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, even though they were engrossed in their comedy, there was the level of a grounding that allowed us to be okay, there's still a world that we're creating, even if we recognize where the pieces of it are coming from in this. And so what they've done with this one, just being able to now give us these intricate storylines while also, nudging us into hey, you remember that from DC? You remember that from the MCU? Yo, you remember that from the pandemic? The fact pandemic jokes still are relevant to this moment.
Yeah, it's we're kind of still doing this.
Right. And it goes to how well that the writers were able to make it both universal while also simultaneously making it we still gonna slapstick this a little bit. Well, maybe not slapstick, but we're still gonna punch this up a little bit. But don't forget,
Yeah. And how about you, Nate? Anything jumping off of that?
I agree.
I think the thing for me about having a show that's so good is just it's great.
Yeah. The point for me where I thought out loud to myself, that's some really clever writing, was the Hero Gasm episode. Because not because of what happened, but the way that they were able to bring all of the characters together to that location after they had been off doing their own thing and have it feel natural and like it's supposed to happen, and not just like, all right, let's bring all the cast together for this episode. Like,
right.
That was really good.
Right.
It was really good.
Yeah. And you were remarking on that. It didn't seem like, hey guys, look, they're all together in this special episode. It was just like they handled it in a way where they didn't seem to be patting themselves on the back for pulling it off.
Yeah. And like you said as well, like, because this is a parody of the superhero stuff and also action movie tropes and just general pop culture stuff, like,
yeah,
it's not a fluke that the third season is the one where the team kind of breaks up, right? And then they have to like find themselves and figure out how they reconnect as a team. Like, that's also a major theme of the season. But I think they did a great job of giving each character like depth. You know, these are, and this is why I say that, yes, I read the comics, but this is very much more of a homage to the comics than like an adaptation. There's so many things that are different. And I would say that, in my opinion, it is decidedly better for it. Not only because it makes it more relevant to current times, but also it uses a lot of the grittiness and shock stuff, not just to to draw attention or to like just for the sake of it. It serves the overall message that they're trying to, spread. So I think it's better for the changes that they've made. And also because of that, and especially them trying to keep it more current and stuff. Yeah, it's very relevant. There's a lot of moments where it's like, oh yeah, and that's really cool to keep people invested.
I think my only gripe that I have with this show, the only one that I've had with this show, is the fact that I feel like we got truly robbed. I mean, we got a little bit in the penultimate episode, but I feel like we got really robbed of being able to get like a full effect of Black Noir. I still want to see what he was also going to be capable of doing. Like, I know, because in the comics, he's a clone of Homelander, and he's going crazy because he can't kill Homelander until he kills Homelander. But even in this, while I liked what they changed him up to be, I really wanted to find out a little bit more about, like, not just what his trauma was with Soldier Boy, but like what his actual inner purpose and inner thoughts are now to be, even despite the brain damage and despite the being on the team since Payback, since the 80s and the 70s. So you have this guy who's has this mysterious shade around him, and then we have 3 seasons of he's this badass fighter, mortal, what was it, from G.I. Joe's semi kind of character, and then
Snake Eyes kind of guy,
right? And I got nothing in the end except for him being and an amazing effect of the cartoon chipmunks and his story. But like, I get that he was, he's disabled, but I wanted to be like, take the mask off one more time. I kind of want to see the half face and the incision in the brain, and I just want to get that one last like look into his eyes and then gut him. I get gutting him. Just give me something.
Because I was like, is he gonna kill? Because Homelander always has this vibe of like, are you gonna kill me?
Right.
Or you're not gonna kill me. So in that scene, every scene with Homelander can go either way. But like Big Pain says, I was kind of surprised how easily he killed him.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him, it seems like he's kind of like second in command. It seems like he's like and then in one of the past episodes, it came across like in Diabolical, it came off like they put him in place to make sure that Homelander never went rogue. So I was like, oh, okay, so maybe he can like kind of like toe to toe with this guy. And Apparently not.
Yeah, right. That was a thing. Like, it's just like, what did he do? It just felt like he was the human in there. I almost like the Batman trope, and I get that, but it's like, even at that, again, you didn't have anything that he actually did. Like, there was no, like you said, there wasn't a protective part. He didn't keep anybody in line. He kind of was just existing outside of, like, I think he had one kind of fight scene in the first season against Starlight, and then,
well, he was like doing stuff too for Stan Edgar, like.
Yeah, he was always kind of doing some Black Ops stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
the point.
I agree with you though. Like, it did feel a little unceremonious. I do think though, I don't think it's the last that we've seen of Black Noir. I also think, especially with us not having seen Stan Edgar since like the second or third episode, right? Like,
yeah,
I think whenever he comes back, he's not going to be happy that Black Noir is dead, or gone, or whatever he is. Yeah, I think, I don't know.
I just support my strong black men getting their proper scene credit. That's not A-Train, like, the coon man.
If he caught him unaware,
I don't want to see a brother go down like that.
I'm not like that, man.
He wasn't expecting it. That's why Black Noir wasn't ready. If he was ready, it would have been a fight. Because he was
Jenna James does say, "Hey, it's Homelander. We saw how he got beat down by Homelander's father." But I'm like, since then, I'm thinking maybe he got his weight up. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Hey, see that night he was like, never again." And I hit the gym, doing push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Drinking, I don't know, protein shake or something. He was doing things, all right? And he got stronger and he got, better and stuff. And I guess that didn't happen. But
I feel like after you get your skull crushed by that heavy shield, like, you're gonna be like, hey, maybe I can survive anything. I'm not gonna let myself be worried.
Yeah.
Really not.
Well, he can't talk, so I'm not gonna say that.
I want to talk about Butcher for a second. There's times when I want to like Butcher, all right? Like, I kind of understand. I'm like, I see where you're coming from. I understand. And like the kid thing, blew that joint. Or he blew that. Cause see, now of course we don't have the story, and if he doesn't, but I was just like, man, the kid needed you. But see, now you left him out in the cold, all right? Yep. And then now he's like, I need a father figure. Father. And then of course, Homelander, here he come. You know what I'm saying? People snitching on locations. First thing, how she even get the location? But anyway, Victoria got the location, and Grace was just like, well, I guess I'll just stand here and hope you don't kill me. Because she came in, essentially, if Homelander wanted to, there's no one except, I guess, Soldier Boy that can do something.
Well, see, you know what the thing is? We found that that's not true. Maeve can put up that fight against Homelander.
Maeve did hold down a little
I'm
something.
so tired of seeing that take from people online. Homelander was very clearly not trying. He was like, all right, stop. He was like swatting a fly, and she was like, don't get me wrong, she was giving it to him, but he only because he was not. He's focused on. He was not in that fight. He was like, just go away, just stop.
But he gave her full laser blast. Nada. He
did give her the laser blast,
even though it was a little bit of a turn on for her. She even got the burn in the chest.
I don't think that laser blast is full level for Homelander. He also laser blasted that dude in the head at the end. That's just his go-to. That's his first engagement. Just what's the easiest, laziest thing I can do? Just open my eyes and laser them.
But that's where you go. Like, that's the matchup with Homelander. Homelander is so powerful that he's lazy. It's everything about Homelander is a mental game, because
which is why, just like you said, that's why that fight went the way that it did, because he does not consider Maeve a threat. So that's why he was like, just stop. I'm trying to deal with Soldier Boy. I got my little incel kid over here. All right. Butcher's being annoying. Just stop, Maeve. All right. Just stop. And
not the incel kid. You ain't got to do Ryan like that.
Like, just stop.
Ryan is the incel kid. I feel like it's cold. He's like, I got my incel kid over here.
I look at it like this. Like, if you talk about everybody having maximized powers, right? And if you look at a Homelander and you say, hey, look, his thing is everybody's an ant to him, and at any point in time, he can go. But the problem that goes with it is that his mental game is always going to be weak. It's weak. His need for love and attention, the proper daddy mommy issues is his legitimate kryptonite. It's the one thing that always keeps coming in, and that always is the weakening factor. So it's the reason why Butcher and Soldier Boy both could take blasts from him. Even if he thinks of them as nothing, he still took the blast. He still took the hits. You know, I don't want to sideswipe Maeve. You know, she lost her powers for the people.
Yeah, she lost her power. Now,
Don't get me wrong.
she
put up a great fight. Okay,
I thought she was gonna do something like push Homelander into Soldier Boy or something, but I was like, they need another season. They need another season. They ain't gonna do that. But I was like, oh, she's probably gonna push Homelander in front of the blast. Homelander ain't gonna have no power. And then now I was like, nah, they need another season, bruh. They need another season up in here. Yeah. So
I do think though, like the one gripe that I have, especially with like Maeve not being dead, and I understand her wanting to like run away and hide and live her life with her lover.
She just want to be on the farm.
But at least like take the V again so you can heal and get your eye back and then go hide out and still have your powers. Like if what's her name? What's the girl's name?
Kimiko.
If Kimiko can take the V and get her powers back, like we can get you some V and you can get your powers back. So I don't know. The whole like permanent power loss thing doesn't carry as much weight when we've literally seen a character come back from it.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to go to the source. Like everybody, Vaught ain't just sitting out on the front deck like, hey, anybody need, you good? Good?
If they can smuggle some out. Well, I guess where did they get, I have to rewatch. Where did they get the full V from? Because the temporary V they were getting from
Starlight.
The full V was the blue one. Starlight had it. When she went into the lab, she got the blue V.
Yeah,
I guess she
when she put the camera on Homelander,
anymore.
like, right. Can I help you?
All right, maybe the plot hole's plugged.
The boy said, "We got this. We got this." Like we didn't get in Black Noir. All right, we're gonna protect it.
Yeah, we didn't hope. Now we do have Black Noir is not the only black hero in this. Unfortunately, we got another one. And my idea, even stuff that Nate was talking about, it didn't really work out. But there's still an opportunity for it too. But A-Train, he didn't redeem himself. A-Train just ended up looking like a sucker again. LOL at the Menthols picture that they showed up. I was like, come on, not that too. Like, are you just for sale? Like, it's just like, come on, man.
He's the ultimate coon. The only.
But I am glad that
Candace Owens, but the male version.
Right. Okay. Let's not go that far. All right. He's a little naive. Right. Okay.
He doesn't have the articulation.
He's not malicious. He's not intentionally doing harm. He's just not aware of the harm.
Man, when he
giving him too much credit.
That
man is purposefully ignorant.
He's not though, because
that poor guy.
I think that could be debatable, but I think now, from what we have seen, he at least understands. Not fully, but he's starting to understand how his actions can affect other people because of someone else's actions.
Because he did apologize to Huey, which is, I think, a huge growth moment for him. Because I don't see him apologizing we know he ain't gonna apologize in season 1 and not season 2 either. So now maybe we are looking at a slow turn, especially with his brother being like, don't come around here, I don't ever want to see you again, blah blah blah. Like it's sad because that's his only. It seems like his only family member that he has. I mean, maybe there is some people off camera, but that we know that's his only regular interaction that isn't based on Vaught, or some kind of business or money kind of thing. That's his only normal relationship.
I I mean, it's like they showed, they talk about it's a guy who trained him since he was young, took care of him, yada yada. That they wanted to shift into the white savior moment. But I think for me, when it comes to him, as much as I can understand that he's having his transition, I'm still questioning his intention of the transition. Like, the intention is the fact that his brother got hurt. It wasn't a factor that he actually saw the wrong. It's the fact that the wrong finally slapped him in the face, which by all accounts, we can use that as it's a changing moment. Is he going to? But this is the same guy who's still in that same changing moment, ratted out Star Stripe, and it got him mutilated. Basically was ready to put Starlight under the...
Look, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but yes, I think he could. I think at where he's at right now, he could go either way. He could just go full, like, you know what, screw it. I tried to be good and just be on Team Homelander, or he could, I hope, come to reckon with some of the things that he's done. And I think you brought up a really good point of that. He, I think because of how he felt about it, and also because of Huey's reaction to his apology, it led him to do what he did to Blue Hawk. And you're right, that was not in that moment. That shows that he was doing that because of the personal wrong that was happening to him, instead of the larger social wrong that was the part of the whole point, the big picture. Right? So yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. Because
he didn't really even come on to that stuff, and so they were like, "Well, you can't run no more." He was like, "Well, no, I'm still useful. See, I'm gonna have my Africa series."
Right.
When that man said something like "train back to Africa," I was like, that's how this show perfectly, like that, the Pepsi commercial, the thing with the singing from the celebrities, just so much stuff that's just like, it's like, no, man, no.
I mean, even the ending.
This isn't how you help us. This is.
But it's the reality. I mean, like the back to Africa stuff. That was the Stacey Dash move. Obviously, we know that the singing thing was the stuff with Gabrielle with Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot,
said it's the pandemic jokes that you still are able to throw in, where you're just like, yo, this was as stupid as it was in the moment. It's still stole.
Well, I also think that because of the focus that this show has on exposing, the hypocrisies of capitalism and power imbalance, like it's not just saying like how ridiculous was this time, but also a callback to remember when we were all on the same page of like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, no one is seeing this and going, oh yeah, thanks guys. Like, no, we were all here. We're all paying attention. We're all sitting at home. We got nothing else better to do. And this is not cutting it. And I think this show has really done an exceptional job of portraying these events, like this, the metaphor of the show is the supers are the privileged class, right? They get to do whatever they want.
Celebrities.
So like seeing that portrayal, and especially the way that that last episode ended, the series ended with Homelander, like, man, I did not see that coming at all.
Because I definitely want to get into that right now. So Homelander, okay, first before we get into that, Homelander you could have just let Ashley keep that joint on. You ain't had to tell her to take her hat off. You ain't had to do that. You could have just let her live. That may be the most disrespectful moment of his entire life. The only way it could be worse if it was at like a company-wide meeting and he was like, take it off. Because she was struggling up under there, man. It was not a good time. But him being, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact word, but like we are the only justice. Like we are the only, like that. I'm like, oh, we getting into a whole nother level now. Hold on, because even the Deep was like, so that's treason. He like, no, you good, right? You got this. He like, all right.
The Deep, aka Ryan Lochte, aka
man. It's the way they have it set up I've gotta, once again, this kind of gets me on Butcher's side, because I see where Starlight is. It's like, yo, man, look, if everybody's just going wild, then like where's the line gonna be drawn? But now that you got like Homelander, A-Train, who can kind of like, I'm sure he can, with the new heart, he can do whatever he needs to do as with his speed, the deep, and you got the VP. It's like, yo, how, if we don't cheat, how? Like, how are we gonna win? Like, it's over. Like, especially after Homelander kills this guy in front of everybody, and they cheer him on. That sounds a lot like I could shoot somebody on Main Street and then wouldn't nothing happen. Well, and I'm just like,
which is literally
what it is.
And I mean, we actually had a conversation about that. I was like, let's be honest. If Jeff Bezos killed somebody, do you think he's getting arrested? Do you think, come on? I mean, they might arrest him for show, but they're like, oh, well, come on, Jeff. Like, what are they really?
I think it's one of the interesting parts because, even with the analogy that you use, it speaks to what is the end all be all leverage point, which for what it's worth for Homelander will always be is the crowd. Can he still control the crowd? Will the crowd still react positively to him? And I think now that we have his son, obviously there's going to be the other addition of, is his son going to continue to accept him? And while we see an escalation of power in these elements, we still see that weakened component right there. So you have this group of people, our regular MAGA folk, but I guess make soups great. So massa. Nice. I didn't even realize until they said it. But yeah, these massa folk, like, they are
not mass. Oh God.
but like you have this.
I think you got the letters mixed up there, but
yeah, I did. Okay, fair enough.
It'll work.
But the Masca folk. Okay, it doesn't work the same. But the point is, it's like you still have this point where people, if you turn up just the right way, all that impetus and that power means nothing for Homelander, despite the physical ability to do. Because once again, his mental weakness is always going to be his kryptonite. His head popper, she's always just about her daughter. Put her daughter into danger, her whole notion changes. So you have these people, but are they really in power if you understand what that is? And that's why I go back to, maybe they don't actually have to cheat in terms of taking V, but they just cheat in terms of hitting them where it hurts the most and having them implode.
I disagree.
Ooh.
I think the thing that's keeping everything together right now is Homelander's desire to be loved, but I also think that he very much so was serious when he said that he will settle for being feared, and I am scared of the day when he decides, you know what, I don't care if you guys like this or not, and just starts doing stuff. And especially with the way that this ended, that he's kind of getting the best of both worlds, where he can do whatever he wants and people will support him. I do think that road will lead to him eventually crossing a line to where even his supporters go, wait a minute, that's crazy. But by that point, he will be, his power will be so solidified that there won't be any turning back. But I don't think that, I don't know, especially with that conversation with him in the mirror, I just think he's more likely to just go insane than to be like, oh, I can't use my powers and be destructive because people won't love me anymore. I think he will more likely throw a tantrum and just, if you guys won't like me, if you won't play with me, then I'll just flip the table. I think that's what. Yeah. And I do think that's going to happen, or at least he's going to start to do it. Or I want to at least see that happen, because especially all the tension that is created, like in every scene that he is in, it's got.
Because I have a slight possible prediction with the way this show is written and the way this season ended. I don't think I would put it past the writers to end this show in an injustice-like world. I don't think I'd put it past them. Because the way they've been rolling, and I don't even think I'd be mad at an ending like that. Be like, look, hey, this is it. This is it. Because Butcher got what, a year and a half?
Yeah, right.
That's about a season, maybe 2.
Right.
It's like, so it's about a season. You know, TV time is funny. We don't know if it's a week
give
or
him real V and he gets full powers and his body recovers.
Also very true.
I wonder if that could,
because in the comics,
they didn't say that's against the rules. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
V. I said in the comics, all the boys take V and get powers, and not temp powers. They just get powers.
Oh,
so it's not, the groundwork is there, at least especially for Butcher. So I could, if they needed to extend his life, I could see that being that how it goes along. But I do agree with you. I definitely think that it's very possible for this show to have a very grim, dark ending. But what I will say is, especially after, man, I don't know, because this season was like, it was like nice and hopeful, but also like really dark too. So
yeah,
I don't know. I my gut tells me that there will be, not the happiest of endings, but I think the show ends in all the supers being depowered somehow.
Yeah, because there's still got to be something with the Russian chest power that has to be played in.
Yep. And still, like, I still want to know why Stan, even after losing Vought, was still like, all right, fine. Run it into the ground. Have fun.
Right.
You're gonna he was not.
I don't think we've seen the last of him. Because he gave up way too easy. He didn't try to spin anything. He didn't try to fight it. He was just like, all right, y'all be good.
And also, too, knowing that, like, Black Noir was involved. Black Noir is the one who set Homelander up, right? So,
right.
But they also showed us that Black Noir, just like how we've seen him now, has always been Stan's like personal attack dog, right? So that means I think that Stan has some type of connections with the Russians as well. I don't think that it was just like maybe he traded that for something, like there's got to be some connection there.
Yeah, and Film Age Studio. Sure. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I think for sure. I mean, I think it was even illustrated in the fact of Edgar being portrayed as a weasel in Noir's eyes, having to be some kind of connection with not just the Russians, but even with whatever that true underbelly of Vought is, because it also doesn't make sense, regardless of what we say, mental issue, personal issues, that Edgar is so calm around every suit, as if there is a knowledge of, like, they can't touch me, whether it's encoding or whether it is verbalized or something. But the man's got something that protects him from being a victim.
And Film Age Studios says Stan is souped up. And I've wondered that too. I've wondered if he's got some crazy concoction of like extra V or like V plus and just hasn't told anyone. Like he's just like basically had the scientists make the super duper V, all right, and then had all of them killed. Nobody knows nothing, and he just walking around cool. And like, the people that know, and if someone tries him, he'll like display the power real quick and then like slide off.
Right.
Because
I feel like the way that he refers to soups as like products infers that I don't think he would ever do that to himself. But I also wouldn't be, I could see that happening where he, just tanks a punch from Homelander or something. And then like his suit rips off and Juan Carlos Esposito's like ripped.
Maybe not that far.
He's like, Nani!
No, he didn't say Nani.
Like one finger punches him. Puts a hole in Homelander's head. He's like, oh.
He's like, Homelander like flies through a couple of buildings, and you're like, oh shit! Like part of me wants to see that, and then part of me is like, nah, man.
Nah, it would be too easy. It's like, yo, really?
Yeah. I'm like, man,
liar reveal.
Man,
the one thing
Stan is real ripped.
I will say the one thing that I want from next season is I want more superhero fights, and I want larger
Yeah.
scale. Because the ones in this one were good. I think the Herogasm fight was a lot better than the finale fight. But like, come on, Amazon, give them some budget. You know,
Yeah, give them some money.
I want explosions. Okay, I want buildings being damaged. You know, that's the one thing that they haven't really spoofed that much yet. Is like the whole like cleaning up
the like
after the
citywide
super,
destruction
like, damage
and stuff.
control kind of a thing, right? That would be a great avenue to explore, to go inside with these larger scale fights or whatever. But yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Milk. Milk was, Milk was trying. Milk has been trying to be a good man since we first met him. All right, he's been trying. All right, then we see him this season. You got the the stepfather, and he's like respectful of that. Stepfather be habitual line stepping, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be cool. Then he took old girl to the Homelander thing. He's like, look, man, I told you, don't have her around that. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. Don't put her in that. And he had to get funny style on him.
Right.
Do I advocate for violence? No.
I do.
But I also know but I also know you can say things that get you smacked in the mouth. So, and in this case, he is not a comedian that was doing a bit. Like, you were trying to hurt his feelings, specifically trying to dig into a very specific issue in his life. You got, I'd be like, hey. But after that, we see him say, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to show her that. And, your boy Frenchie was like, hey, man, you gonna be all right? But I just, Milk, touched me in the heart, man. He touched me. Just seeing how he was trying. He was trying to be cool, and then had to break the dude down.
I give Milk a lot of credit. And to be honest with you, I have more questions about his ex than I do about Mother's Milk.
You're right.
Because I'm not fully understanding what it is that she's seeing about this guy. Like, he's aside from being a teacher, please let me know.
It's the comfort and stability that Milk is not able to provide because of his job, his obsession, right? That's the thing, is that he's there as that foil of like all of the parts that MM is trying to fix and that were lacking in their relationship and why they're no longer together. That guy provides. Like, he may be a loser, but he's a loser that comes home every night, and has a steady job and goes to the birthday party, which like seems like simple low bar shit, but like, MM has a lot of stuff going on and hasn't necessarily been able to be there. So that's true. At least that's what I got from it.
Because there is,
I think that's actually
a lot of being a parent is just being there. Honestly, just like they want you to be there at the track meet. They want you to be there at the piano recital. They want you to be there for the birthday. You might not have to do anything amazing, but just be. I mean, there's so many times. Yeah, there's so many times when I might have my son at the park, and I'll catch him pop his head up, looking around, just to make sure I see him. And it's just that thing. As kids, we want our parents to be around, and so I get it. It's just that, man, there was no one else. I mean, she's not ugly. It's no one else.
It's and I guess obviously we're seeing it from a kind of an omnipotent view, so we get the
because we're watching the show
of him, right? Yeah. So she's not seeing it, but I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I'm surprised this man doesn't get beat up more often. Like, in fact,
he does kind of look.
He just has that face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a job. It's here. This is just asking to be punched all the time.
he just has this I want to speak to your manager kind of vibe about it.
Yes!
And it's like, look, dude, I've been here 5-6 hours already. Look, your sandwich is your sandwich, man. Just take it. Like, dude, like my manager it's not going to change anything. All right, man. Like just take it and go, man. There's people behind you.
Yeah. I understand what he did, but what he should have done was taken him around back and then
Right.
Oh.
Right.
You know, just don't do it in front of your daughter. That's bad.
Well, she was supposed to be inside,
You're
You're
honestly.
supposed to be.
She was supposed because he was like, go inside. Then her mom said, go inside. And she was like, I want to see what's going on. She was like, nah, Whenever your parents say, go inside or go in, you be like, what y'all about to do?
Watch this.
It's like, what y'all about to do? Shoryuken. It's like, oh man. Now, also, that I can't remember what comedian, but from now on, he can't tell her nothing. Be like, take out the trash. You need me to call my daddy?
Right.
Like you can't do nothing now. Now like, clean up your room. Clean up my room or what? Because my daddy said I can clean my room when I want it.
Oh, it's
all right, Cole. Moving on. Frenchie and Kimiko are cute. I approve. I like it. I'll say that. I like it. I approve. I've actually been kind of waiting for a while to be like, come on, y'all, come on. So now I'm happy for y'all. You know,
I think
it's a weird relationship because it's surrounded by blood and violence and drugs and you know, people heads blowing up. But I mean, you know, they found each other.
I think their plot line this season was probably the weakest of the characters. Not to say that it wasn't good. I think it had a good resolution. It made sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just me. I didn't find myself caring that much, I guess. I was invested more in Kimiko than like Frenchie's stuff. The whole like self-harming yourself, all that stuff. Like I get it, but you reach a certain point where it's like, all right, dude, like you keep putting yourself in these situations. So, you know,
it's like you got to let that old girl go. Like you got to be like, you got to be like, we got your ex-girlfriend. Hey,
they also didn't resolve that.
Tough life.
So that has to come back and mean something next season because there's no way that that's the last we see of Nina, right? Like,
right.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Is it me? But I feel like the Kimiko Frenchie relationship thing was much stronger for season 1 and 2. That by the time we got to this point here, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I thought they were already a couple. So whenever it was like they were just kissing, I was like, wait, have they been doing will they, won't they all this time? Because this is the worst game of will they, won't they? Like, you'll learn sign language. You're like literally the only person that can communicate with her consistently.
You learn sign language for this woman. All right?
Right? Like what more there was there? Like y'all are
not even sign language. Special sign language. Because she didn't have like regular everyday sign language. Nah, she didn't have that. She had special sign language just for her and her brother, all right, that he figured out, all right, just for her. That's love. And he called her my heart the whole season. Come on, man.
I think the only thing that makes sense for the will they, won't they thing was that Frenchie was still kind of messed up about the, what's her name? The other girl.
The skinny one that got captured with him.
Yeah. So I think that was the kind of like what was in the way this whole time, like his attachment to that. And I think that this was kind of supposed to be him moving on from that.
He let that girl go. You know what I'm saying? Let her free.
Like
I'm be honest with you. I didn't even realize that's what she was. I was like, why'd they capture this other skinny girl? I was like, I don't know why she's even here.
You don't remember it from last season? You don't even remember?
Man, look, this is why.
Remember they used to get high back in the day? Like back in the day, they used to get high and stuff, and she was like strung out.
I think that this season is so strong and the best one so far. There is not, I mean, maybe it's just recency bias, but I don't feel like they're like even this plot, which I don't care about as much, is more memorable and impactful than like that thing of them explaining it was cool, it was cute when it happened, but like when I think back of season 2, that plot, like I also was like, who is this girl?
Oh, that's cold,
yeah.
man.
Like,
That's cold. They kidnapped her, the killer, and you was just, they were like, Nate. Oh, what's going on? I'm in the boys. We got I don't know. We got Sandra. Who's that? Sandra, your girl. Sandra, your girl. From remember 2018? Oh, true that. She alright? No, we kidnapped her, man. We want you. Oh, I'll be right there. Like,
that was like 3 years ago, man. That was the old me.
That's the old me. I moved on. It's like, nah, man, I'm done with her.
Oh,
like, cancel her.
Cancel. She was done. Like, I'm like, we're just like, okay. I don't know why you guys are fighting so hard for this one girl. Like, even when she got released, I legitimately did not even remember, like, why are we choosing between, like, Kimiko, yo, go get your boy. Like, yo, sucks for her. I thought she was a decoy. I thought this was going to be a liar revealed situation. It'd be like, psych.
Like, did she thank them for saving her? Did she? I remember they had the fight.
Scene long enough to even say anything. I think they literally had her in the chair, and then the next thing we saw her next to the pipe, and then we were gone.
She did help a little bit. She because she ran into the dude and knocked him over. So she did help. Like, she know how to help. I will give her that.
That's true. That's true. That was the last I feel like we actually saw her. It was that. She ran to the dude, and then we were like, oh, okay.
Like, oh, all right. Well,
you free?
Yo, Frenchie, you good? Like, you gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Kimiko came through even without powers, man. Like, yo, she the realest right now. Like, how do you not marry this woman? Come on, man. Like Frenchie, look, hey, come on now. From a brother to another, like, you look, hey, get off the coke and get married because you need to lock her down. All right.
Right.
The woman got beat up. I had no powers, then saved you, then like helped nurse you back to health after she was nursed to health. Like, just, man, look, you're not gonna find another one.
Oh no, she one of a kind. She one of a kind. But also, she also seemed like the type that will kill the girl that looks at him in the wrong way. And then that's the other part that you got to be like, right now we have a little bit of a holdback. All right, will they? Won't they? I guess. But now, you know, she's his, she's hers. She's not his, he's hers.
Good point. So do you think that Butcher's going to say anything about his, I guess, timeline at all? Or do you think they're going to have to find that out?
I think they're just going to figure it out. I think eventually it'll be too hard to hide. And also they already know that like it's going to do damage and that he's taken more than...
True.
Wow.
Because once you saw that number, I was trying to count the doses. I was like, all right. I was like, I think they've already taken
sure
4.
They were at 4 by the time he got them right.
Yeah, because I was like, I think they've already taken like 4. And when
then Huey,
when you got green leaking out your ears, bro, like, maybe you need to speak to your physician.
Had the stuff. So he's taken more than Huey, so they know that he's gonna, something's got to be wrong. I mean, I would assume that they knew that he was in the hospital, right? Like when before he came back, you know.
True. So maybe this is something that they'll be like, hey, they already know at the beginning of next season. I did want to give a big up to Huey for not only being like, hey, look, it's not you, but I just feel like I can't help. I feel like I'm useless out here. And for not taking the V when he had the opportunity to. He could have taken the V, but he was like, nah, I know I can help out without having to take the V.
Right.
Yeah. He can be supportive instead of having to save her.
Because he's like, all right, I know she need power, so let me turn up these lights. And you know what I'm saying? Then I don't have to take the V. I ain't got to die, and then she ain't got to die. So everybody's happy.
Or about their relationship with their parents, and Huey resented his dad for a long time for not leaving his mom, the bad relationship that they had and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But in the end, he realizes that he was good in his own way, because he was
Right.
there for him, right? So in the same way with Starlight, he has to be there for her, you know, instead of trying to save her or trying to fix her or trying to be the strong one or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, play to your strengths, you know, give that person what they need. And yeah, I mean, it's really, I don't know, like there's not a lot of media that addresses father-son relationships, but not a lot of it that actually really examines it and for the good and the bad and how that affects the next generation also and how you act on that and stuff. So I think them incorporating all that stuff into a superhero show is really good. And especially, you know, as a show called The Boys, and it's about these boys and like, you know, it's also about their fathers. Right. And yeah, it's just really, 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 really well done.
Because you got the
it's like 2 thumbs up.
The
for
kind of
Huey.
like the
Good job, Huey. You almost died learning this, but I mean, at least you learned it right before.
He was so annoying. He was so annoying this season, and then he's like got turned into Nightcrawler and thought he was like all cool, running around naked. And it's like, man, stop.
Even though Nightcrawler, which one is it? Kurt? I think it's Kurt, the one with the sword.
Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt has the sword. The other one doesn't. But yeah, he could have, because
another Nightcrawler.
The one with the sword is the one from the Age of Apocalypse storyline, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kurt carries a sword sometimes too.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I mean, I guess technically they're the same character, just from a different timeline. So yeah, but like, I mean, he could have been sweet because, you know, Nightcrawler is sweet. You know, he can hit you with like a 4-piece and a biscuit without you even knowing. But
yeah, but
you gonna die, man. You gonna die. And yeah,
I mean, look,
he had no skills. He had no fisticuffs.
In Huey's defense, over the course of the last 2 seasons, I get why he got to that point where he was just like, yo, I'm tired. Like, especially after he found out that Veronica, Head Popper, who she actually was, like, he was all in on being like, yo, let me do this the right way. We're gonna catch us from around the way. We're gonna use the government, you know, try and, you know, do what they need to do. And then to get to the point where it's like, yo, even the person that I trusted the most is the person who's also most dangerous. Like, and now I'm back to fearing for my life because now if she knows that I'm not coming into work and not, you know, it's done and done. So it's just like, I get why he got to that point. I hate that he utilized Starlight as the catalyst for needing to feel like I need to be a man. I got to be a man and protect my woman's. But like the reality is just like, yo, it's self-preservation. And I can recognize it, especially when self-preservation not only gives you teleportation, but increased durability and apparently increased strength as well whenever you hit A train.
Oh yeah, because he took some serious hits.
Crushed his hands.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I get it because I get that he could feel. I mean, you feel kind of useless, even as a regular human. Milk is got mad skills. Butcher got skills. Frenchie got skills. You're like the guy that just ended up here because his girlfriend got killed by A-Train. So, so you really have no skill. But then he was feeling useful. He's like, hey, I'm working with the government, and we're setting up policies and procedures, and we're actually stopping some of these guys and putting them in jail or something, whatever they were doing. And then to find out, oh, like I'm just a pawn. Like this is all of this is rigged, you know. And then even to flip that with Victoria kind of bossing up, like, look, hey, you think I'm gonna pop your head? You ain't gotta worry about that. And then Starlight being like, you know what? I'm tired of this. And
yeah,
that change with that conversation, I'd be like, you know what? Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm tired. Huey tripping, you tripping. Homelander tripping, kill my homie from back in the day, my old boyfriend, and StreetGEEK. Right. I just don't care no more. So.
I'm still really wondering what the extent of Starlight's powers are, because I get that once she absorbs and she can do the blast, but like I feel like every single time we watch her fight, like I get a new idea of like how much she can take like, what her capability. She took a pretty serious shot from Soulja Boy. Yeah. From Soulja Boy, even with Victoria, with doing the little nosebleed. Like, I'm wondering did Victoria really just, try and create the nosebleed, or did she try and pop the head and it didn't go and the nosebleed is what happened? Or,
I never thought about it like that.
You know, like it's just more because every time we see her, it's just, once she gets that electrical powers, then we see the burst, but she takes everything. Nobody messes with her. She's the only one. Like, you're not afraid of the deep. Like, the deep is a pet, basically. You know, A-Train, even in his own stuff, like, you know that Butcher can catch him, and if he does catch him, it's done. Noir was a little bit of a combat here and there in season 1, but that was her just not being fully ready. So then what do you get? Like, the one time we got right, she fought A-Train too and whooped him. So, like, it always was a question, like, what exactly is it? Because nobody does anything to her. 3.5 million followers or not.
Yeah, like it is kind of like varied when they approach her, I guess, power level or her durability level. Because she's taking some serious shots and kind of shrugged them off. The one in the finale, you did see her kind of getting up slow. So I guess that was a more serious one. Word. But she still got up. We didn't even see any like blood or anything. So like Starlight might be stronger than she believes she is. And maybe she's just one of those characters where like, you know, like maybe like, I can't remember. There's a couple of X-Men that I remember. There's like some old book where Magneto was talking about a few X-Men that were like Omega level, but like they didn't realize it themselves. So maybe that's it. Maybe she's like super sick, but she just doesn't see herself as that special because she's just Starlight. Right. I will say, since they run an organization, where it's pretty much like black book operations, she might not want to throw her clothes away at the headquarters. Like throw them away like super like far away. Really like go somewhere else. Like somebody's like, hey, Starlight's clothes are right here. Like or just give them to a charity. Maybe they could sell it and, I don't know, make some money. I don't know. But, you know, of course, her charity is kidnapping kids. So, I mean, you know.
Enslaving them kids.
Yeah, that whole Vought News Network was a trip this season. Like, but
I'm still laughing at NNC. I'm like, okay, you guys trying to really gaslight these people. You trying to start the beef again. So, but with that said, you know, we've been kicking it for a minute. I'm gonna throw it over here. You know him, you love him. All right, the guy knows things not only about the books, but also about the TV show because we all been watching it. Nate Miller, give me some final thoughts and where they can find you.
Final thoughts. I don't know. I've always really liked this show, and the bar now for me is very high for the next season. They've set up a lot of good things. I don't know. I feel very confident that the showrunners are going to do a good job with what's coming next. And I like that it's been so hard to predict what's going to happen. They've done a really good job at keeping things surprising, you know, not inventive. That's the word I'm looking for. Not like kind of the same formulaic stuff, especially given that it's a parody of superhero things. I've consumed an innumerable amount of superhero content. So, yeah, I mean, the cast is really good. I think Anthony Starr, it just gets better every season. Just absolutely terrifying with just his face. It's just so good. And yeah, I really hope that, especially now that a lot of the online fans of this show have started to realize that yes, Homelander is a stand-in for Donald Trump, and the creator of the show, the showrunner, has said yes, that is absolutely intentional. I want more content like this that is very political, but is not overtly boring, bash your head in political. It's just like, hey, look at this experience. Isn't that kind of familiar? Doesn't that?
Yeah, because they're really kind of just holding up a mirror.
Yes.
And with some extra craziness, like exploding lower.
The mirror's got
portions.
lights and explosions and stuff too, but the basis of what you're seeing in the mirror is our real world. So yeah. And this was fun. You can find me at Dog Like Nate everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Zynga, all that stuff.
Oh wow! Okay.
Live journal,
No live journal.
No live journal.
No, I canceled it. Yeah.
You can check me out on Black Planet. No.
GeoCities. I still got my.
Oh man.
Or on Neopets. You can message me on Neopets.
Nice.
Don't forget.
I can't wait to use Ask Jeeves to find you.
Does that site still work? Is that site even still up? Like, can I?
Ask.com still exists. It just got absorbed a little bit by Bing, but Google uses it as a base. I'm sorry. Google absorbed the Ask.com, but you can still find Ask.com.
Wow.
I'm not going to say that I looked it up, but I did look it up.
All right. Final thoughts and where can they find you?
Yo, look, every single thing that I thought was going to happen for this season went the opposite way. I thought Homelander and Soldier Boy were going to end up being top dogs and end up being Homelander and his boy. I thought that we were going to get another death of one of the seven, and really nobody. Well, I guess we got Black Noir. He was actually not the one I thought was going to end up going. I thought the Deep or someone would, but we haven't gotten there yet. So they kind of hit me with the opposites of everything. But one thing I'll say for sure is I am hopefully excited to see how they utilize the January 6th insurrection into the boys.
Yeah, they're definitely going to put that in there.
As well as Ezra Miller going mad crazy on Hawaii and everybody and how they're going to mess up.
Yo, that dude keeps getting chances, man. Like, who is his uncle or dad or something? Like, he knows somebody. Because
I don't know if you know, but they use non-binary pronouns.
Oh,
but yes, they are.
Sorry, insane. And with that said, before anyone starts, I didn't know. Don't come in here with it because I don't care. Ain't nobody out here trying to hurt they's feelings. Or what you know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to hurt their feelings.
They can get their feelings hurt because they be loving to hurt other people for no reason.
Well, true.
All right?
Yeah. True.
They be loving to, and I want them to intricate that into the boys in some way, shape, or form. I look forward to this. So you guys can find me absolutely on Gift Time Rugby on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok. No, not MySpace. That's just Gifted Bailey. But Twitter, Facebook. And look, we doing all day rugby stuff. We're dropping more and more content. New season is coming. New things are happening. New announcements going. So please keep an eye out and get this rugby life.
Yeah. And of course, final thoughts. Nothing I thought would happen. This show, but I will say this show is awesome. I do think that we're headed for a grim series finale. Like I don't see this show ending where it's like, all right, guys, we won, and we're all finished. I don't think so. But of course, one of the best. I will agree with. I believe ZSB Lou said it, but they were like, if Anthony Starr doesn't get a Emmy, it's. Maybe look, it's going to be tough to be like he shouldn't get an Emmy because that guy does crazy, unsettling, and all that mixed up and extremely well to the point where I'm like, somebody needs to check on him in real life. Like, is he all right? But with that said,
it's the Kiwi in him. It's the little elements of Maori that be popping out right there, where they go, hey, don't play with us.
Oh man,
I love my Kiwi people.
ZSB Lou said, please next season, can they address the fact that Maeve literally launched the world's strongest nerve agent out a window and into downtown Manhattan? Would love to see it as an Easter egg in the TV background or something.
That's so funny.
Because she straight through. I was like,
chucked it. Someone's gonna be like, "Ooh, perfume."
But like, what if somebody's walking down the street and it hit them? Like,
Yo, right?
like you can, like maybe like just absent-minded, girl. You did bad. I mean, you did good, but you did bad there. But NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Hit that like button, subscribe, share it out. You guys were amazing. Thank you for coming through. And thank you to, of course, the guests. Man, look, it's cool talking this stuff with you guys. So, I mean, it's fun. So, we're going to leave y'all with some Black comics. And tomorrow... No, I don't think we're doing anything until Wednesday. Wednesday we'll be talking about some happenings in the Blerd community that I just think are funny because they're happening again. But until then, thank you for coming through. Peace. All right, guys.
That if you keep dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space and the entire crew is revived, it can be told. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Patron. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, The 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
You're listening to my daddy, All Gorilla MC.